Howdy, everybody, and welcome back to Stranded Deep in Conversation, where I'm just gonna talk and you're gonna listen and we're gonna have a good time, huh? A deal? A deal? A deal's a deal. And once we seal this deal, it's there forever. Um, hope you're all doing well, as I probably said already. It's only been 20 seconds, and I don't really remember. We're gonna jump pretty much straight into the topic because I don't have anything for this week in retail today. So. My apologies. I have had a lot of days off, and the days I was on, they weren't really all that interesting, so nothing to share there. I can't believe it's already Thursday. That I will say, because it's been an interesting, very busy week in my brain. But we'll talk about that either this week or next. We'll see. We'll see how it works. See how it goes. But today, I figured we would talk about something a little interesting, I guess. A little interesting. It's very littly interesting. It's not all that interesting, if I'm being completely honest. It's my random, and this could be the wrong word, but I'm going with my random hyperfixations. These are just things that either I currently am or I used to be very, very just dedicated to, just mentally, or just everything. You know, just the things that plagued my mind and soul for a fair amount of time, very extremely. And a fantastic recent example of this, which is the thing I guess that made me want to do this conversation because it's the first thing on the list, is cube furniture. I don't know what it is about cube furniture that makes me just go absolutely apeshit, but I love cube, and I not like cube couches and stuff. I'm talking about, I guess cube furniture is a bit of a stretch, but those like cube like shelving units, you know, like the shelves that are literally just like cubes, and then it's like, oh hey, you can buy a little bin and put it in there. It's like a whole little, it's a bunch of cubes. Like every time I go to Target or Walmart, I'll see these like cube shelf organizers, and I'm like, holy crap, that looks awesome. Those look perfect. I really want to get. There's like one that's like a staircase. And I just want to get one of those, just to have, because it's cool. And it's just, it's I don't know, like I have two right now. I have a 1x2 big one, and then a 2x3 small one. The smaller one's from Walmart. Didn't realize it was smaller until I built it and realized, oh, it's smaller. So I don't like it all that much, but I like it fine. Like it works, so I still have it, and it works fine. It's cool. It actually just perfectly fits a bunch of my stuff to make it work, so I'm pretty happy with it. But at some point I'm probably gonna keep buying more, but I don't want to. But I do want to, because they're interesting. Every time I go to Target, especially Target, because Target has the cooler ones. Walmart's just like, here's like a 2x4, here's like a 2x2. Walmart's got the staircase. They have like a 3x4. They got some crazy shit. They got the cool stuff. They got ones on wheels. It's very cool. I think just as a whole topic, I'm sorry. This is a whole topic though. Just decorating in general, or I guess like furniture in general. Very big on furniture. Like one thing that's been at Target for ages has really been perplexing my brain, is like a sliding cabinet thing. So it's like a cabinet, but instead of opening it like a side, like a door, it like the whole thing like slides out, like it's one big unit that gets slid out on like little like caster wheels, and it's cool. But I don't think that would really work for anywhere in my house because most of it's carpet, so it's can't really do much with that. For sliding purposes, I mean my chair alone doesn't really slide very well on this carpet, so I know a whole cabinet with a bunch of things on it. I don't even know what I would put in it, if I'm being honest. It just looks cool. It looks like some shit out of like a sci-fi movie. It's like one of those like ancient fridges that like holds like dinosaur eggs and like a bunch of samples of shit. It looks cool. If you haven't seen them before, I don't know what the hell you would look up except for what I described already, which is just like a sliding cabinet door thing. I don't know. Maybe you'll get it, maybe you won't. I have no idea. I'm gonna be brief with this next one because I've had an entire week already dedicated to it on the channel, but the Beatles, very hyperfixated on the Beatles. I feel like it's the same thing though with most artists that I start slowly getting into, and then I kind of really ramp into getting into them. NSP had the same thing. Jonathan Colton had the same thing. Weird Al, where there would just be times where I would just watch and watch and listen and listen and listen and listen and listen for months without any other person. I wouldn't care about any other artist until I was satisfied, and then I would stop. The Beatles are slowly dwindling down, but again, I still really do enjoy them. It's good. It's not like I don't enjoy NSP or Weird Al anymore, because I'm only very much listening to the Beatles lately. But it's been it changes which band it is, and the Beatles is the current brain melting band that is taking me by storm. But yeah, I feel like that's probably a very common thing, just to listen to the same thing over and over until you get tired of it. Well, not tired of it, but get used to it. Some people get tired of it. I don't really get tired of music. Like, if there's a song I like, I'm pretty much gonna like it forever. Which I think is, I don't really hate most music either. But that's not why we're here. We're not here to talk about my music preference. That's probably already a stranded deep. I think this is my 70th one. I don't know what I've talked about. I don't remember anything, to be completely honest with you guys. So I'm just gonna talk. Hopefully I didn't already talk about this, honestly. I doubt I talked about cube furniture, though. Cube furniture is a pretty new thing. Now, something that's not so new is my love of small sizes of things that are normally large. So this is a very specific one, but I love it all nonetheless. And a good example is water bottles. When I was a kid, when we'd go to like every deli that was around our house in our school, and they'd have like they have a bunch of coolers with drinks in it and stuff, and I didn't really care about any of the drinks because I only liked water. So there was one deli in particular that I loved because they had a water cooler right in front of the store, so you wouldn't have to walk over to the rest of the store to get water. You just go there, grab water, go to the register, pay, easy. And I love Fiji. I think Fiji's still the best water, but Poland Spring is really good too. And what Poland Spring has that Fiji doesn't, as far as I'm concerned, is tiny water bottles. Like, I'm talking like half the size of a regular water bottle for only like for a quarter less. So you're losing money. You're losing water per cent. But I didn't care. I thought they were cool. I thought they were nifty. I liked them. They were just little small beings of awesome. I don't know what it was, and I still do have that sort of fixation thing where if it's something smaller, it's fucking amazing. Like, I think I talked about it last week with the Halloween stuff, the tiny hands, the tiny money that my coworker gave me. It's just still the funniest thing in the world to me. But I have an entire collection of tiny things, like the World's Smallest series. That's like one of the few things I still collect nowadays, because I used to collect a lot of things. But I've tried dimming it down. But I also haven't really. I've kind of just been swapping things out and around. I don't know what's wrong with me, if I'm being honest. I don't get it. But it's fine. Because they're cool, and I like them, and they just make me happy. So what are you going to do? You gonna insult that? You gonna insult that? You can. I'll let you, but I won't like it. But I will let you. It's perfectly. This is how it works. How the crumbling cookie falls downwards. Board games. Board games. I have a question mark on this one because I think it's more of a hobby than a hyperfixation. I just really like board games. But there are times where instead of just like being like, oh hey, I'm in the mood to play a board game, or like, hey, I can buy a board game, the moment I like get into board games, it happens like every month or two, I'll like see a board game online that I really like, and that will spark at least a couple of weeks of me looking at every possible board game that has been made and wanting to buy it. Like, sometimes I'll cave in, sometimes I won't. The most recent time, I don't think I caved in, but there was a time that was pretty recent still that I absolutely did cave in, and I got Calico 3-Ring Circus and the Great Western Trail 2nd Edition. I can't stop. They were cool, and I really wanted 3-Ring Circus because 3-Ring Circus is new, and I saw a Rado runs through of it, and I was hooked. I loved the idea, and I've played it once, and I want to play it again, but my brain tells me I don't have time for that, which is really sad. But it's not. It's fine. I do still want to play it now that I think about it. But I have a lot of things I'm thinking about that I will probably go over this week or maybe next week. I don't know. We'll find out. Foam pits is the next thing that is on this list. This is probably going to be a fairly fast Stranded Deep conversation, just because there's only so many things and I can only talk so much about it. I only put like, I think, not even a dozen things on this list. So sorry if it's not exactly up to snuff, but I guess we can talk about board games a little more. It gets to a point, like, some of these are just like, oh hey, I like looking at them, oh hey, I like doing it, I like watching this, or whatever. With board games, it is a very bad hobby to get a hyperfixation on, because every board game that you could think you want can cost, it costs at least like 30 to like 100, 150 bucks. It sucks. That sucks. The accessories, I hate Kickstarter. I don't have any hyperfixations about Kickstarter, but I fucking caved in and got a fucking folding, like I backed a folding gaming table with like rails and stuff, and I both know why and don't know why, but I just, it seems cool. But I mean, that was especially during a I want to play board games binge in my brain. But I've sort of faded away from that, but I still do want the table. I think it'd be pretty cool, because currently the table I have barely fits any board game. I know I can just buy a bigger folding table, but I didn't think of that when I bought the table, and it was too late. So, yeah. So, but the thing is, I say I bought the table, I backed the table. It's not gonna come, assumingly it's the best case scenario, for another like 6 months. So, who knows if I'll ever get it. I probably won't, honestly. I like, as much as I'm hopeful, I feel like every time I look at Kickstarter, I just feel the word scam and enter my brain, because it's pretty much the majority of Kickstarter, I would probably assume, and I do assume. So, you know, if you think I'm wrong, sue me, I guess. But either way, I don't think this one is. I had a few projects before. It seems cool. I just hope it comes. It's cool. It's, I'm not gonna tell you what it is, but I told you the general concept of it, and I'm sure there's probably only that one on Kickstarter, but it is over, so maybe it won't show you. Either way, I'm not gonna tell you about it anyway, because if it is a scam, I don't want to back a scam. But again, I don't think it is, but still. Back to what I was talking about a couple minutes ago. Foam pits. I want to make it pretty clear when I say I enjoy a foam pit, but at the same time, I've never actually been in a foam pit or even around a foam pit before. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about when I say foam pit, I'm talking about those like huge piles of like, it's like a pool, but instead of water, it's a bunch of cubes of foam. So maybe the cube thing. Maybe I guess like cubes. I did used to really hyperfixate on Minecraft. I guess I'll add that to the list. Maybe I'll talk about that too. But foam pits. I've never been in a foam pit. I've never seen a foam pit in person. But I've seen them in like things, and like and I've always been like, whoa, that looks like so much fun. It's literally just an adult ball pit in my brain. And that just sounds awesome, because I used to love ball pits. I mean, there was only ever like the McDonald's one that was gross, but I liked it. But I don't even think they had a foam pit in my local McDonald's play place. They probably thought that was too gross and didn't add it. Personally, I think the idea of having anywhere where kids can roam and play while also eating extremely greasy food is kind of a bad idea, but I loved those anyway. I could probably talk about those too. Lots of things I could talk about. But we're talking about foam pits. Also, sorry, either the washer or the dryer is kicking into high gear right now, so you're probably hearing that, but it's fine. It'll live. You'll live. Foam pits. Yeah, they just seem cool. I don't know what it is about them. I think, again, it's just a big ball pit. I like mode, and I always liked the idea of ball pits. But foam pits, also, the only thing I only just remembered that's probably the reason I haven't tried finding a ball pit or foam pit is because of that one thing. I don't know if it's TwitchCon or was something like a year ago, but someone tried to like jump straight into a fucking foam pit that was like an inch thick, and like they fucked up their tailbone and they like couldn't walk or something for a while. But they made a good recovery, thank goodness. I don't remember who it was, But yeah, they like fucked themselves up really good in a foam pit because they didn't make it deep enough, which now terrifies me if I ever actually go into a foam pit, because I don't know the actual dimensions you need for a foam pit. Like, if I were to try to make my own foam pit, I'd probably bust my every bone in my body, because I don't know. I don't know what you would need. So that's fun. But foam pits, always liked them. They're cool. Just the whole gymnasium thing, or like a gymnastics thing, like the balance beams and stuff. I've always been very fixated on like trying to balance across things, like whether it just be like the curb or like in the parking lot. Like in parking lots, you have those like big like concrete stops so they don't drive too far when they try to park. Instead, they just fuck up their car. I liked jumping across those and trying to balance. I still do whenever I'm like off work and I have to wait for my sisters to pick me up. I'll just be doing that. It's dumb. It's fun. Don't mock me. All right, it's cool. It's cool that I'm into that. Hats. I love hats. Hats are cool. Hats are great. Hats bring a smile to my face. I don't know what it is about hats, except I don't know why I keep saying I don't know what it is. I do know what it is. I think they look awesome. But something about my head and my big ass hair, hats barely work for me. I can't make most hats fit. Like, I like a hat that sits firmly on my head that I'm not afraid is going to blow away in the wind with any light breeze. With my hair, though, it puffs it all up. So the hat, instead of sitting firmly on my head, like around the top of my head, it sits gently on my hair, like it's an egg, and my hair is a nest, and my body's a tree, I guess. It's hell. It's hell, and I hate it. And every time I try to I look at a hat at a store, I'm like, oh, that looks so cool, and I put it on. It don't do. It doesn't become a hat. It just sits on my head like some sort of freak. It sucks. It's lame, but I do still like hats. I have like a bunch of hats. I have a cowboy hat that does that exact same thing, except my coworkers, when I wore it for Halloween, which I didn't actually share the picture of, by the way. I am now still too lazy to do it, so I'll do it right now, actually. Like, here you go. There you go. There's me as a cowboy. So the hat didn't really fit. So as you could see from the pictures, kind of had to have like a band around. Like there was a little like stretchy band like on the inside to like keep it on your head. I had to flip that out just so it would stick on my head, and even then it would still ride up my hair. So it was just awful. It was terrible. But my coworkers said it worked, so I was like, oh, cool, great. And they were like, you look good in a cowboy hat. And I was like, oh, thanks. That's good to know, I guess. But still, it upsets me that I can't really wear it without it riding up my head. But they said it was supposed to do that, so I don't know. Maybe I just don't know how hats work. I like flat caps. I've got a black and I just got a gray one. I'm not going to show you those. You've probably seen the black one. I've worn it on streams before. But it's just a nice hat. It's just a good hat. Fun fact, actually, the plan with having the hat on was I was going to consistently have the hat on, so that way if anyone would ever ask, is that your real hair, I'd be like, no, and then I would, one day, I don't know what, I would just shave my head, but like stick it all to my hair, stick it all to the hat, and then it would just come off with the hat. I don't, it was a dumb idea. I didn't follow through with it, mostly because I just forgot, and I would go on stream without hat sometime, and it'd be like, ah, shit, and then the joke would be ruined from there. But it was an idea. But yeah, we like hats. Hats are cool. Hats are great. Hats stay on my face sometimes. But yeah, I just like hats. And every time I see a new hat, I'm like, oh, that looks cool. And then I put it on, and I'm like, oh, god damn it, I can't wear it. This sucks. And before hats, it was actually ties. I used to really like ties. Like when I first started working, I would wear just like a button-down shirt and like pants and stuff and a tie. I'd always have a tie on. I don't know why, but my brain was like, I'm working retail. I need to wear a tie. I need to look presentable. Stupid idea. Didn't make any sense, but I did it anyway. And I, at one point, I went to like a Marshall's with my sister, and I found like 4 really fancy ties, and I was like, oh, this is genius. So the plan from there was to have a different tie for literally every day of the year. I didn't actually, spoiler alert, didn't follow through with that. Almost immediately gave up on it, because then I was like, oh, because eventually they actually gave me a shirt from the store to wear, so I didn't have to wear my button downs and everything again. I was like, oh, okay, this works. So I didn't actually want to buy a million ties, but the actual the muse for that idea was one of my high school teachers. Did that exact thing. He'd always wear his fancy shit. He'd wear a tie that was always different. Every day of the year he had a different tie, which is just insane. 300 ties. It's a lot of ties. Don't know how you keep those organized. I've seen a tie hanger before. Those hold like 40. I don't know how. You need like 5 of those, and they're really bulky, so I don't get it. But I will say bow ties are still really cool though. Like, as much as I don't care much for ties anymore. Barely wear them. But bow ties I've been interested in, and I've been like, ooh, I can go for a bow tie. So still, ties are kind of in my brain every now and again. They're cool. All right, just let me think they're cool. Soup. This is a very this is a very kind of not throw away, but like a cast you in the wrong direction. I don't care much for soup at all, if I'm being honest. I don't like tomato soup is okay. I think that's the only soup I've actually really had, if I'm being honest. And I didn't really want to eat that anyway. I was just hungry, and we had a can of tomato soup. I was like, it can't be bad. And it wasn't bad. And I put some crackers in there to taste it even better. It was great. And then I had the Progresso tomato soup with basil, and that was delicious. And I was very happy. Good soup. But I'm referring to my cat soup. Name actually is Charcoal. I'm not going to show you him, because I can't think of a funny picture to show you, but he's just a great guy. He's just such a silly little dude. He's probably been on stream before. If you ever see me just get excited for a cat being in my room, it's Soup. Because sometimes Stinky will come in and I'll just be really disappointed. Rarely does Poop come in. But Soup, oh, my boy Soup. Love the dude. He's such a gamer. He's such a nice little man. Every time I come home, he's always just gallops into the front of the door, and he's like super excited, and he wants to play and shit. He's awesome. He's like a dog. He's just a cat, but he acts like a dog, but he lives like a cat, and it's perfect, because I'm not the best at, like, I probably wouldn't be able to do walks daily and stuff, just because I have a lot of shit on my mind, and a lot of things I want to do. So a dog, like, in like a sense of how much you'd have to like take care of it. Like, the cat kind of takes care of itself, but I love the dog play style, and that's exactly what I got with Soup. I don't know how we got him with Soup, but Soup is a dog in a cat's body, and it's perfect, and I love him. He's my favorite thing in the world right now, and he'll probably stay that way for however long he happens to stay around for, or I guess I have to happen to stay around for as well. It's hard to tell, really. That was a darker one that I was contemplating putting on here, but I'm not gonna, because I don't want to talk about that. So, we're gonna leave it at that. We're actually gonna jump into a bit more of a story one, which is my 8th grade Punnett Square project. This was probably the first, like, for a quick backstory, I guess we can actually talk about one that's on here with another question mark, and that's drawing. I'm not good at drawing. I'm not good at art. I've never been good at art, especially around my siblings who are really good at art. I've definitely never been good at art. I've always enjoyed drawing, though. I mean, I love making doodles and comics and stuff, and it was always just fun, and I liked doing it. So I guess it wouldn't technically be a hyperfixation, because it wasn't the only thing I would think about. It would just be like a little thing. Like, oh, hey, I'm bored in class. I'm gonna doodle. You know, like, oh, hey, I have some time. I'm gonna draw a quick little comic thing. There's actually one, I guess, kind of hyperfixation that I used to have as a kid was I had like a drawn book series that I unironically did. Like, it wasn't a book series. It was one big book. It was a notebook that I called Simple Logic, and it was the dumbest fucking thing in the universe. It was so fun. It would literally just be like, kind of just like 1-page comics where it'd be like, simple logic rule number 1, don't eat a ham sandwich when your cat's around or he's gonna want some. And then it would just spiral into, don't do drugs unless you want a crazy time, and then it'd be like a huge disclaimer. It could be a bunch of like dumb jokes, really just stupid ones. And I'd always try to add a little drawing with it, and most of them were pretty bad, but as time went on, they actually started looking like okay. I never really tried to make them better, so they never really turned out super good. But I actually did really, really enjoy doing that. That was a lot of fun, the simple logic stuff. And then I lost a notebook one day, and I was devastated. If I still had that, I would absolutely be showing that to I would be looking at that every day, because that was some of the most fun I had. That was like months of just dumb, and like there'd be days where I'd like binge at like 30 of them, and there'd be like months where I didn't touch it at all. But when I did, it was so much fun, and it was stupid. It was like I think if I remember one correctly, it was like, if someone needs a hand, give them a little bit more. Rip off your whole arm, see if he'll appreciate that. And then I have a picture of like him just rip the guy. I had a main character in the book. It was a very basic stick figure with a really big smile. But I just showed him popping his arm off and giving it to a homeless guy, and he was like, "What the fuck? What do I do with this?" And it was stupid. It was great. I genuinely love doing that. Man, that was fun. I love doodling. I love that stuff's very fun. And especially, it's a really good outlet for just silly ideas. I'll probably be talking about that next week. I want to talk about it this week. I really don't know. We're thinking about it. We're thinking about it. But my 8th grade Punnett Square project. So now I've gotten the setting. So I liked the draw, but I never really had a good reason to. So I never really got better at it. This was until my 8th grade Punnett Square project. We did a Punnett Square thing, like in class, where like we like rolled dice or something to like to symbolize the randomness that genes are, and then we'd like pin it, like we like put it in a square, see like so there's like dominant traits and recessive traits, and then we'd roll or flip a coin. I think we flipped a coin, because then that would tell us if we got a dominant or recessive gene, and then we did it twice, because then that'd be the Punnett Square, and then we'd see what gene our Snork would have. So like, would it have blue skin or green skin? You'd flip, we get blue. Would he have ears or like a straw head like the Snorks? He'd have the Snork head. Oh, okay. Well, would he have 3 legs or 2 legs? Oh, he'd actually have 4. How'd this happen? Mutations and shit. It was really cool. It was a really cool project. And as one of the last things you did, like, I think a homework assignment, was you took the Punnett Square that you had and you drew the thing that you made, which was really fucking cool. Really great idea. And I drew one, and as I was drawing it and as I finished it, I was like, oh, what if I did like this? What if I did like this? What if I had this included in with that, and then I did that, and like I always kept, in my head, I had like different ways of making the arms or the legs or the head or whatever. And that night I drew like 8 of them, because I didn't know which one I wanted. And the next day I come in with I go into science, and I'm like, how many do you want turned in? And they're like, I only need 1. I'm like, but I have a lot of ideas. You know, make as many as you want, and I'll see which ones are good. And I had like the week to do this, or like, I think, like, I don't remember how long it was. It was like a week or 2, because I think it was 2, because we had our like pre-test things, like our pre-stake tests that we were like the little stake the practice tests. That's what it is. That's the word. We had like practice tests that week, so like we had like 2 weeks to do it. So within those 2 weeks, I, at school, at home, would bang these things out like nothing, and I ended up with 26 Snorks, 1 for each letter of the alphabet. I gave each one an alphabet letter to go with, and I was so proud of every single one of them. I worked really hard. Every single one I made, and I made them look cool, and some of them were like shaped to kind of look like the letters. Like, I think O was one I was really proud of, because it was like a big fucking like hoop, so with like a big like sparkly eyed face and shit, and he had like crazy arms and shit. It was so cool. It was so awesome. And I give them to my science teacher, and she's like, holy crap, how many did you draw? I'm like, 26. And then like everyone is like super surprised, and like not like I want to say impressed, but they were just kind of like, whoa. So maybe I don't know. I don't think impressed though, because some of them weren't that great. But it was fun, because and then it just became a game with my science teacher to see how many of those were actually technically correct with the Punnett Square. And I think like 7 of them didn't technically make the cut which also included the first one I made. So had I not done 26, I would have probably failed the project because I technically did it wrong to her. So I was lucky because she was like nitpicking too, so it probably would have worked if it was just one. But she nitpicked to hell, and like most of them were fine. Like 7 of them didn't make the cut. But the thing that really made me feel proud and like be like, okay, this was worth it. She wanted to make like every project we did, she had like a board right outside her classroom that she like showed off like her student stuff. She wanted to make an entire different board for just my snorks, and I was so freaking happy and proud. And I was like, oh my, yeah, you could take them all, like make them a thing. And do you know what happened? She didn't do it. She didn't make me my board. She didn't make nothing, and she didn't even give them back. So I so wish I could see those things again, because they were so cool and so fun. But she didn't make my board. I was super disappointed. I freaking worked my tuckus off on that, and it did pay off. Like, it did give me a good grade and everything. But it was more than that at that point. I was just really proud, and I wanted to keep them afterwards because I was like, oh, dude. But then she's like, no, I'll put them up on the board. And I'm like, okay. And then I never got them back. I never got to see them. And I never got to see him on the board either. Very, very, very sad. Very sad ending. But it turned out well. It turned out great, and I was really, really happy with that. Like, that was one of my favorite things I did in school, probably. Just because of how creatively liberating it was. Really enjoyed that. And I guess we can jump into a different topic now. Not a different topic, but different subject? Maybe? I don't know. Marinara sauce. I know, it's a very big jump from doodling and having an insane science project to marinara sauce. I love marinara sauce. If I was told I could put anything on anything, for the longest time it used to be cheese. But now I think it might just be marinara sauce. I really don't know why. One day, I was telling myself... No, one day, actually, what it was, I think, was I was at work with one of my coworkers, and they were getting Sonic. And they were like, you want something from Sonic? And I don't know what the hell Sonic has. And they show me a menu, and I'm like, oh, corn dog, I'll get a corn dog. And they're like, do you want anything to go with it? Like a dip? And I'll get the dips. And I see nacho cheese and stuff, and all the usuals. And then I see marinara. And I'm like, huh? This is a thing you just get for a sauce? I thought they just put it on pizzas and stuff. And so or like pastas and whatever. And so I get a cup of that, and I'm in heaven. This is the best thing ever. And then I start going to stores and like Sheets and stuff where like they have hot dogs. I'm like, man, I wish I had that marinara on this. I wish marinara was an option. And then, not even like a couple weeks after I say that to my sisters, it becomes an option, a free option, to just add on hot dogs. And it's like, oh, because normally I'd put cheese on it and it'd be like 50 cents more per hot dog, which is ridiculous. But the marinara was free, so I can just put marinara on a hot dog and I'd be in bliss. It was the best. And ever since, literally everything I possibly can, I put marinara on. Because I love marinara more than I love most things. It's probably a problem. I don't care. It's worth it. It's worth it. It's a worth it problem to have. It's marinara, baby. It's delicious. I love marinara. It's tasty. Oh, okay, this is actually, I was gonna say, I have two more, and one of them is very confusing. We'll talk about that one now, because I was very confused, as to what it was even trying to say. But I completely understand, and I can completely agree with this statement. Hitting myself with the water condensation after drinking a bottle of cold water. Does anyone out there know what that could possibly even mean, or entail? Because I do. I only figured that out now, after reading it like 3 times to myself. But what I mean is, when you have a bottle of water, a lukewarm, fine bottle of water, it's whatever. You drink it, you're done, you throw it away, or you recycle it, however good of a person you are. Wash, rinse, repeat. There's a better way, I should say, to drink water, and that is to put it in the fridge, which is what I feel like 99% of people have figured out already. You put it in the fridge, gets cold, gets tasty, good water. There's a thing I feel like I have to be the only person who does this, and that's whenever I'm done drinking a bottle of water specifically that just came out of the fridge and was really cold and shit, you see the condensation, you can feel the condensation on your hands as you're drinking it. It's like it's this coldness surrounding the outside of your bottle of water. And if you have it there for a while and you finish drinking it, it's just a bottle with water on the outside. And so what I do, because it was nice, cold, refreshing water, I would just slap my bare arm or my bare leg around with it for a few times. I just go like, this is a full bottle of water, so it won't sound the same. I would just go like just on my arm, and it would just splash the condensation onto my arm, and it feels so nice. It only lasts for like 5 seconds because there's not a whole lot of condensation, and once you hit it a couple times, you pretty much get everything out of it. But you do that, and it feels like heaven. It's so nice. It's one of the nicest feelings anyone has ever created on Earth. And I still do this to this day. Every time I get a cold bottle of water, I don't really refrigerate most of my water. I kind of just let it sit in my room, so I don't really get it that often. But when I do, it's the good stuff. It's amazing. It's one of the best feelings in the world, baby. It's just so good. I love it. It's genuinely awesome. And at the moment I'm done doing it, I'm like, oh, wish I had another bottle of water. But I don't. So I'm like, okay, this was nice. It's just really refreshing. So I highly recommend, if you're going to do anything, if you're going to hyperfixate on anything that I've talked about, the whole water bottle condensation smack is absolutely something you should do. And wait till it's an empty bottle, so that way you can just get really easy, rapid strikes. Because if you try it with this, like, you get a lot of pushback, and then the pushback's probably going to splash someone in the wrong direction. You won't actually be able to hit yourself with as much of the condensation. So just wait till it's an empty bottle, and you can go boom, 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 and just enjoy it for a while you can. It's awesome. And then the last thing I have here is what I wrote down before, which is Minecraft. I mean, I feel like every kid who grew up in like the early 2000s, or like the early mid 2000s. I guess I was born in 2002, so I guess that means mid 2000s. Mid to late 2000s. If you're a kid in the mid to late 2000s, when was Minecraft even a thing, actually? I think it was like the early 10s, wasn't it? Minecraft release date 2011. And I probably didn't have it until I got like an Xbox, which was like 2013, 14. Regardless, if you were a kid, you loved Minecraft. You loved watching Minecraft. You loved playing Minecraft. You loved doing anything in Minecraft. Hell, still today, thousands, if not millions, of people still love everything about Minecraft to this day, and it's a great game. So I completely understand it. I've since died out of that. I don't really like Minecraft's fine. It's fun with friends, and that's about it. Otherwise it's just kind of whatever. I don't really. It's fine. I like play it. Like there's nights where I'll like binge it for like the whole night, but and then after that I'm done with it. Like I tried doing a Pixelmon series on this channel, like way back. I played one episode of it, had a whole fucking, had a really fun time because it wasn't really much of anything except me just trying to figure out how to make like a land claim for like 20 minutes. But then after that, I didn't really feel motivated to go back the next day, even though I spent a lot of time working on a little house and shit. And that happens a lot with the games like Terraria too. I love Terraria. I think it's more engaging than Minecraft, so I will play it for longer. But if I'm not playing with friends, what I'll do a lot, and what I'll even do with my friends, is I'll just be so hyper-fixated on building houses in that game, which, oh my god, I hate. Because I want to play the game, I want to murder things, upgrade my armor and weapons and stuff, but no, my brain says, no, make a house. You need to make pretty houses. You can't just have these filler houses, those are gross. I literally told myself the last time we played Terraria, which was like a couple weeks ago at this point, maybe like a week and a half, you go make some filler houses so you can actually do some exploring. And I started building, and I realized that the ground kind of dipped in at some point, and I was like, whoa, if I put that there and I replicate it up top, it would kind of look like a big mansion or something. Or a small mansion, because I only did like 6 houses in this thing. But I was supposed to be like freaking 20! And I put 6 houses, put 6 whole houses in this big old building I spent the entire like hour and a half doing. And the only times I ever went to explore was to get like glass and stuff. It sucked. Like, it was fun. I really do love it. But I want to murder things. I don't know when the switch flipped in my brain that I need to make pretty houses in Minecraft, in Terraria specifically. But it's the thing I do. And it's the only thing that my brain can tell myself to do whenever I go and play Terraria with my friends. But if I'm not playing with my friends, I'll do that for a day, and then I'll get super bored and I won't play it again. So, all to say, great games. And it's very easy to get focused on it for a day, but then after that, it's kind of, like you did what you wanted to do. So, have fun. For me, especially with Terraria, it was always like once I got the hard mode, I lost a whole lot of just like motivation. I don't know why. I felt it's like I already kind of accomplished what I wanted to do, I guess. And then at that point, it was just kind of like, okay, let's keep going. I feel like, even though the Mood Lord is the final boss, I feel like after Wall of Flesh, a lot of the game is just like the post credits of a game, like the epilogue for like Modern Warfare 2. It's weird. It's like you could do it, and you'll lose that. But the thing with Terraria, you lose a lot of game if you don't do like the hard mode stuff. But unless I'm with friends, I don't get interested for some reason. I don't know why. I don't get it. But either way, I do still like the games, and they're still very fun. I will still have a great time playing Terraria. It's just sometimes my brain just goes with it, and that's okay. You can do that with things. You can fall out of love with some stuff. It's cool. It happens. Don't kick yourself in the face because you don't like playing this game as much as you used to. It's cool. Don't like for these things. It's okay to hyper focus on stuff. Like it makes some things very engaging and fun, but don't be afraid to lose that. Like I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't. This isn't a scripted thing, so I don't have some super crazy, awesome life advice for the end. But what I will say is, if you do get like fixated on something, just give it a try. Just do it. Just let it live its course, and if it happens, if it stays, it stays. If not, then hey, it's whatever. And I'm gonna actually be attempting to focus on something that I've been really fixated on for the next couple weeks. It is YouTube related, but I don't necessarily know how it's gonna play out. I don't know, because I'll talk about it next week probably, because I kind of have a theme for what's going on next week with the streams and stuff. I hope you guys are okay, by the way, with the whole keeping a week off every other, like streaming then off, stream off for the weeks. It just gives me time to do other projects, which now that I have a project in mind, it's probably gonna need all of that week and probably some more of the week in leading up to it to even do what I want to do. I don't know. I genuinely don't know, because I haven't really given it a try or a start. So, but I want to see if it can work, and I don't know if it can, but I want to try, and that's the fun, Just having the idea, just to excite your brain, and then giving it an honest to God try is one of my favorite things. I love, okay, this is a really, and I'm probably going to talk about this again next week, assuming I even remember, but I got Chinese food yesterday, and we all got a fortune cookie, and the one I got was just it was the difference between ordinary and extraordinary is that extra, and I don't entirely understand what it means. I assume it just means give a little bit more, which I guess kind of works for what I'm trying to talk about. But what my sister got, or my sister's friend, somebody else got, I just forgot it. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna pause while I remember what this was. Okay, it was talking about not spreading yourself too thin. The reason I think almost verbatim was the more stop to appreciate what you have and don't try to get more or whatever. It was okay. I'm not verbatim at all. That was the worst possible verbatim. It was like, just don't overwork yourself. Don't stretch for too much. Settle with what you have and be you're gonna be happy with what you have. But if you try to get a little bit more, you might lose that happiness. For me, I can agree, but I also just really enjoy, doing new things. I enjoy trying new things. I enjoy working on something and wanting to do it again and want to try working on other things. But I understand it is trying to stay on topic for me is very tough, because I'm gonna be honest. What this week was supposed to be, at least when I first started this week, was I was gonna do like a little like live action skit thing, which I probably still can do, but I haven't worked on it at all, so probably not. But I do plan on doing it at some point. But I got completely sidetracked by something else that my brain really wants to do, and I want to give that a try. So stay tuned, I guess, for when that happens. But it's not gonna be for another like, couple weeks if things go well. If all things go according to plan, which I don't know if they will. I'm gonna try my best, but I don't know. We'll have to see. But next week it's gonna be, you know, fun old streams and stuff. So stay tuned for that. I'm excited as ever. That's not live day. I'm excited as ever. Getting ready to get this started. And I don't know where the things are going to take me, but I just hope they take me somewhere that I will enjoy. But with that, I guess that's it for this episode of Stranded Deep Big Conversation. Sorry to keep you guys for an extra like 5 minutes, just talking about nonsense. It'll all make sense, maybe, eventually. I don't really know. We'll find out, I guess. Thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you all next time. Bye, everybody.